Authenticity. Everything flows until I hit record, and then it's like, this lighting's also bothersome. Better. Hello. Have you ever noticed if you have different voices, different personalities, different masks, depending on who you're talking to? I talk about authenticity in my writings a lot, but what does authenticity even mean? There's a lot of masks and personalities that we all carry within us depending on who we're talking to. So every single person that I meet gets a different Deb. And why do they get a different Deb? Because they're a certain think of us of colors. I don't even know my basic color schemes. If I'm red and they're blue and we mix together and we make purple, but if they're yellow, then we mix together and we make orange. Like, every person is going, like, yes, I'm always red, but depending on what color that other person is, the results of what is becoming is going to be a different result with every person. So even though I say masks, there's a difference between the mask that we put on when we go into public or in certain situations versus coming to each situation with authenticity, with who we are, what we believe, knowing what we want in life. Focus on your language a lot when it comes to authenticity. If you find yourself answering a lot of questions as I don't know, or not having an opinion one way or another, or finding yourself extremely swayed to whatever algorithms is feeding your feed with the most, without an open thought context of what you actually believe. Like, it's very lost in masks, lost in people pleasing, saying what you want to say because you want to avoid conflict. Why would you want to avoid conflict? Maybe because you're afraid that you are wrong and you don't want to be wrong. Maybe you're afraid this person will reject you for what you think you know is right. Those are two different fears, and those are fears that are very real, but the more you tap into your authenticity, the less you're going to have those fears. The more you're going to be able to back up your opinions and viewpoints, the more you're even going to have opinions and viewpoints. The more you're going to have your own opinions and viewpoints. That is holding yourself in your authenticity. When you're able to hold a conversation, or you're not afraid to say what you think or what you feel. And if you're afraid of conflict, that depends on what situation you're in. There's definitely situations where I'm around someone that I can tell their first instincts is to turn towards aggression, and so I definitely act different with those people. I might be a little bit of a people pleaser. But then there's a lot of people that they instinctively, I can tell, like, some people I just don't know. I'll be just doing my job, following rules, and a client will just explode on me, and in a very disrespectful way, and I'm just like, I'm not going to stand for that. It's interesting. I took this new job that I have has tested my ability to have respect for myself in ways that I couldn't ever imagine needing to be tested in. I served tables for 6 years, and as a server, once in a while I'd get someone mean, a lot of dumb people. I mean that in the lightest, funniest way. We all meet people that make us laugh, that we think are just like, that really just happened. But in my job now, there's people that are holding a lot of anger, and even like, I'm just following rules. I'm following regulations. I'm following what is a very basic routine thing, and people will just be so upset and disrespectful towards me. And I've learned there were times I would sit back and be silent. I'm not sitting back and being silent anymore. The funny thing is, like, I'm getting a lot of practice with this disrespect, and each time I'm handling it a little bit differently and noticing what I would like to do next time. I mean, we always think about that, right? Like, should have said this next time. Yeah. So, as weird as this job is, I'm kind of enjoying the strength that I'm learning in how to handle disrespect. And in my younger years, I would meet disrespect with disrespect. I would try to be as loud and as aggressive as I could back. Until things started breaking. Picture frames, wetting champagne glasses, holes in walls, gunshots through pictures, through the wall, right past my head. That's real disrespect that I said I would never deal with again. And then I found myself right back in it. And that time I was just silent. I would just let it go on and on. Things would break again. And then the moment that a firearm became part of the household, I was like, I'm not doing this again. I was out. And that ended with explosions of anger and violence. And I just ran. I was just silent. After that, I said I would never deal with that again. I have found myself repeating some patterns where I'm still fighting disrespect, just on different levels. May not be the breaking things, may not be deadly weapons, but there's definitely still moments that I'm refining the amounts of disrespect that I'm allowing in my life. And so, authenticity. The more you know your true self, the more you can stand up for yourself in the face of disrespect. And that's where confidence comes from. And sometimes I'm not always right. Sometimes I definitely disrespect people at times. But I have found when I am disrespectful, it's because I'm reflecting back what was given to me. Generally. There's at least a handful of times that immediately come to my mind where I was not very respectful. And actually, it's probably only a handful of those times. That's how often I know my heart is not coming from a disrespectful place when I speak. It's coming from a place of authenticity and guidance and wanting peace and love, right? If there are times that I have been disrespectful, And I think about those times probably every day, honestly. It weighs on me. And eventually I'll make those right, but it's hard to make those right because I don't want to come off like, oh, I'm like an alcoholic in a 12-step program and I need to make this right. And other people are probably like, you're still thinking about that? I don't even remember that. So maybe I should cut myself some slack. But most of the time, if I'm filled with anger over something, it's legit. I'm not being heard. I'm not being understood. I want to switch the vibe of this video.